All right, so to carry on with the program, I'm going to invite their Stepan Baljian up to give us an overview of his dad.
Thank you. Okay. Ariabadiv, Avak Sbarabed, Hunan Arshakian, Ariarans Sbarabedner, Medzorian Avak Khorurti Antamner, Ariabadiv Nachkin Avak Sbarabed, Nigos Atinizyan, Harkarjan Asbedner, Yev Tstrer, Yev Sireli Hantisaganner. Beloved brothers, knights, it's an honor for me to be addressing you today, and I will welcome the presence of our Avak Sbarabed, Mr. Hunan Arshakian, the distinguished members of the Avak Tivan, also our very well-known, very beloved Nachkin Avak Sbarabed Nigos Atinizyan, to Sbarabeds and Tivan members of the respective lodges of New England, and our fellow Knights of Watertown and Daughters of Watertown. Welcome all this evening. This afternoon I had the privilege of attending a function in my parish where I heard from one of our young fellow brother knights, Mr. Mark Dermagurdician, who told us his story about having been born here in Watertown and eventually ending up moving to the Worcester community. Tonight I'm going to tell you the story of another one of our fellow knights who has just the opposite story. His story begins in Worcester and ends up here in Watertown. Archpriest Father Antranig Baljian was born in Worcester, Mass, April 28, 1950. Believe it or not, he received the family name as his baptismal name, which was Nishan, after not one of his grandfathers, but two grandfathers, his biological grandfather and his adoptive grandfather, both named Nishan. Later on, when he became a priest and was renamed Father Antranig, he would pass that name on to his only son, and when he became a priest and became their Stepan, he was happy to pass that name down to his son as well. So we've kept that name, Nishan, in the family for quite a while. Der Antranig received his elementary and secondary education in the Worcester Public Schools. He attended Assumption College, where he graduated in 1972, receiving a Bachelor of Arts in Classical Languages with a minor in linguistics. Following his graduation, he set sail for Lebanon, where he studied for 2 years at the seminary of the Catholicosate of the Great House of Cilicia in Antilias from 1972 to 1974, where he was ordained as a deacon. Returning to the United States in 1974, interestingly enough, he was assigned as the assistant to the pastor and secretary at St. Stephen's Armenian Apostolic Church in Watertown. The following year, he married Cheryl Arpie de Poyan, and the two were blessed with 2 children, one older sister, Nairi, and a very, very young, very youthful son named Der Stepan. No, just kidding. There's less than 2 years between us, but growing up, she always let everybody know that she was the oldest. So that's coming back to bite her now. In March of the following year, 1976, March 28th to be exact, he was ordained a priest by then prelate His Eminence Archbishop Karekin Sarkisian of blessed memory, who would later go on to become the Catholicos of Cilicia and subsequently Catholicos of all Armenians. He was given the name Father Antranig due to his being the first American-born Armenian priest to be ordained and serve in the prelacy, the Eastern Prelacy. He was assigned as pastor of St. Gregory Armenian Apostolic Church in Springfield, Indian Orchard, Massachusetts, where, interestingly enough, his grandfather, Antranig Baljian, had first come when he arrived in this country to seek a better life in the U.S. He remained the pastor there for over 18 years, until in 1994 he was reassigned as the pastor of St. Stephen's Armenian Apostolic Church here in Watertown, a post that, as you know, he has faithfully served for nearly 30 years. Der Antranig has served on a number of boards and committees for the prelacy, including the Armenian Religious Education Council, and more recently, he has served on the Religious Council of the prelacy, serving as its chairman for 1 year. It's hard to summarize exactly what Der Antranig has meant to this community. He has married generations of young people and baptized generations of their children. He has been there to comfort grieving families. I'm sure all of you have been touched by his pastoral care over the years. He has shown himself to be a true public servant, going above and beyond merely his pastoral responsibilities, but also encouraging and leading in community organizations, always offering his support and mentorship where applicable. And in the case of our illustrious brotherhood, the Knights of Vartan, his hands-on leadership, serving as a member of the Tivan of the Ararat Lodge No. 1, and subsequently as Sbarabed, as commander of the Ararat Lodge. I know that he has meant a lot to the St. Stephen's community, as he has to the Ararat and Arpie communities. And it's truly fitting today that in the presence of our Avak Sbarabed and members of our Avak Tivan, that Der Antranig would, Nachkin Sbarabed, I should say, Der Antranig would receive this reward today in recognition not only of his service in the Knights of Vartan Ararat Lodge, but most importantly to the community, to the greater Boston Watertown Armenian community. After all, this is what our organization is about. It's about fostering character and shaping the moral fiber of a man to step forward and become a leader in the Armenian community for the betterment of our people and our nation. And I'm proud to say that my father, Der Antranig, has heeded this call. He has stepped up. He has given it his all. He has served selflessly. He has been an example to others through the way that he raised his family, the way that he took care of the flock that was entrusted to him, and the way that he gave of himself selflessly to all his brother knights in our wonderful organization. Without further ado, I think it's time to invite Der Antranig up.
Well, so this doesn't preclude the Knights being involved in any future event, but we wanted to get out in front of this because we wanted to recognize your tenure, which was laudable in every way, and you're in the classical tradition of Armenian priests who are intrinsically locked into their flock. And you've helped many, and everybody appreciates that fact, especially at the Knights of Vartan. So we have a plaque for you. If you want to come up with Yeretskin, you can do that too. Why don't you give the plaque? I was curious whether he'd bring your name up.
That's good.
If she wants to say something, you should let her too.
It might.
Maybe Larry will want to come up too.
Although I myself am only a guest here tonight, not a member of Ararat Lodge, but a brother in kindred spirit, I've been asked to read this plaque on behalf of the lodge. From Knights of Vartan and Ararat Lodge number 1, in honor of Archpriest Antranig Baljian for his 30 years of leading the St. Stephen's Armenian Church and his services as Sbarabed of Ararat Lodge number 1, given April 18th, 2024.
Take a quick. Yeah, Nicholas, come on up. And then we'll get a family shot. Get all the family. Right there,
Family on this side.
Larry, you can bring your family up. Yeah. It's all right, we'll do it. We're not busy.
Thank you very much for this. We're going to take a picture.
Yeah, very briefly.
Vic, you got a quick turnaround.
No, I do.
Come right in front of between Zalman and Mesh. Yeah. Ready? No, you stay down.
No, I stay down. I stay down.
A little closer to Dede.
Yeah, right here, perfect.
Squeeze in. Oh, another one? Oh. This is a family photo. Come here, everyone come in. It's for all Minutemen, right?
All family here.
There we go, that's right. That's right. This is the next mission? Hey, all right.
Thank you. Well, I mean, before. Oh, no, you just have to say. Sure. My dad, my grandfather.
Hello.
My grandfather.
How are you? Good to see you. If I may impose on you for a minute, just to say from the bottom of my heart, thank you for this, in my opinion, undeserved honor. I thank you for it. The one I want to thank is Yeretskin for her putting up with, unfortunately, my frequent absences from the house because of meetings and because of families that needed me. Through it all, she has been gracious and loving and a fitting and wonderful mother to our children. I want to thank her and all of you. Thank you. God bless.
I want to recognize a group of people that have been functioning under the radar for about a year. I experimented with a new exercise this year, and it was called Assistant GDR-ship. And I had Der Stepan as one of the assistant GDRs. I had Kim Hazavartian, and toward the end we picked up Dro to participate, and they've all learned a lot. And Dro has been very successful in putting together some initiative for the new ESP project, which you'll hear more about from Ararat's Avak Sbarabed in a few minutes. But for you new Sbarabeds, I just have a couple of points that I wanted to throw out. It's not going to take me more than a minute to do this. And then we're going to hear from Avak Sbarabed, and we're going to hear from Levon Toros Avak Ter Sbarabed, and maybe Negogos as a special treat later on. Who's laughing? Okay, so for you new Sbarabeds, some of the things that might help you get organized and get validated in your communities is to plan out your full year of meetings with speakers. Now, you don't have to hit every month, but institutional memory for some of us old guys is that you could chart out your whole year with the speakers, and that would draw a lot of attention, to your agenda. And guys would be, if a guy can't come to every meeting, he's going to pick out 3 or 4 that look good. So that's one thing. The other thing that's probably even more important than that is the Nachkin Sbarabeds meeting. I think Negogos agrees with me on that. The Nachkin Sbarabeds meeting is a way to generate the wisdom from the people that have gone before you. And that happens usually in the early summer before people start going away to the new slates that come in. Also, monetize your goals. And by that I mean put a number on the activities that you wanted to do for your gatherings and your events during the year. You could assign a number to it. It might help you with an overall fiscal vision for your lodge. And then we've been talking about doing open houses again in the summer. It'd be good to do 2 of them. It's a way to get the young people introduced to the organization. And like my son said to me when he came to our barbecue one year, he said, "Is this your fraternity, Dad?" And I said, could be. In any case, you'll also practicing an open line of communication is going to be helpful to everybody, and trying to keep it positive. And the other thing is, you're never going to read the Constitution as an exercise in joy. But if you do happen to look at it someday, if the book opens up on the wrong page and you read about the beginning of the preamble, you'll see that courtesies is mentioned often, almost too often. Why do you think that is? Because we're a brotherhood, and the courtesies is really what we all rely on to continue and grow and work together. And if you lack the courtesies, you're not going to achieve much. You might achieve some things, but for the next generation, the courtesies is the most important lesson we teach in every lodge meeting. So that's some general observations, and I'm going to invite Ararat's Avak Sbarabed Hunan Arshakian up now to update us. Is that okay?
Yeah, that's fine. Can I put this here? Thank you. Thank you very much, brothers and sisters. First of all, I would like to recognize and congratulate our Avak Kahana Antranig. Congratulations for your service, for your dedication to the Armenian Church and to the Knights of Watertown and to the community, to the Armenian community here in Boston and greater Boston and in the United States. You are a true Armenian, you are a true patriot, and we, bottom of my heart, on behalf of the Avak Tivan and on behalf of the Knights of Watertown organization, we want to thank you for your service. There's Stepan, my Grand District Representative Baba Avakian, Nachkin Avak Sbarabed, Nikos Athanisian, my brother, GDR Betty, Tiruhi Lucy, Dr. Ara Kayan? Kanyan. Welcome. And Ara Markun. I would like to recognize my Avak Tivan members, my Avak Ter Sbarabed Levon Toros, please stand, from Artas Lodge, Los Angeles. And my Avak treasurer, Ron Nosley. Where are you, Ron? Thank you. I want to thank my Avak Tivan members for being here with me, for supporting me. It takes a lot to travel, and we've been on the road. We visited many lodges. We were in Detroit last week. We were in Washington, D.C., Philadelphia. We're going to New York, New Jersey this weekend. So it takes a lot to travel, and I hope you understand it takes a lot of commitment to be on Avak Tivan. And with this opportunity, I want to thank all of my Avak Tivan members and my GDRs for their hard work, and the Sbarabeds for their dedication. Thank you. Thank you, Levon. Thank you, Nav. Look, Knights of Watertown is live and well. We have many challenges, but we have a lot of exciting events, projects, and extremely big challenges that we're facing, including our homeland, Armenia. I'm going to start with Armenia because this is the most crucial time in the history of Armenia. I don't know if you remember during the convocation, I spoke about the Armenia, and I said, if we don't unite, if we don't support, if we don't continue to raise our voices, if we don't do the advocacy, if we don't do support, we're going to lose piece by piece. So it is vital, it is critical, and it's everyone's duty to support our people in Armenia, the Artsakh refugees and the people of Republic of Armenia. A year and a half ago when I took office, I had a different agenda. My agenda was to increase membership, rejuvenate, re-energize our organization, better retention, modernize it, and many, many more things. But then we were blind spotted. We were caught by a surprise with our challenges in Artsakh and with our blockade in Azerbaijan. My Avak Tivan and I worked tirelessly to do both, to work here domestically and to support our homeland. I want to tell you some of the things that we've done so far here. When I took office, we realized that we needed a modern communication system, so we updated brand new website with social media platforms, up-to-date website with videos and news outlets and continuous press releases that are sent by Gohar Baljian. So everyone in our brotherhood and sisterhood is aware and updated and educated of what's going on around the country. Then we modernized the ritual. Many lodges couldn't have a quorum, so they couldn't bring members in because of the quorum. So we had to step in and figure out a way to modernize the ritual, to give an opportunity for some of those small lodges to bring a first, second, and third degree member in one night so they can grow their lodge. And of course, it was optional. The lodges that wanted to use this traditional way, they are welcome to do so. And that modernized ritual gave an opportunity to many lodges to bring in a lot of members. I want to talk about membership. 2 years ago, one of our worst tri-lodges were Los Angeles chapters. So we stepped in, we encouraged them to bring young members, and we encouraged them to come up with projects. Well, Sevan Lodge did just that. Sevan Lodge brought in 9 members last year, plus additional 3. We did a 5 lodge initiation in Southern California, which was done first time ever. 3 tri-lodges in Los Angeles, Vahan Lodge in Orange County, and Gomidas Lodge in San Diego. We met in Orange County. We made a initiation of first, second, third degree, and we brought in total of 14 members that year. Sevan Lodge brought in additional 11 this year. So just one lodge brought in over 22 members in 1 year. Then Tri-Lodge adopted a project in Jambarak village in Tavush near Azerbaijan, behind Sevan, that area, Varteniz region. My Avak there, Sbarabed Levon, introduced this project. Tri-Lodge adopted the project. It was a $40,000 tag renovation of a kindergarten. They approached the Avak Tivan. They said, this is what we want to do. We gave them a green light. We blessed them. And we said, if you need any advanced seed money, we will do that. And they borrowed $40,000. The Tri-Lodge happened on February 3rd. They raised, their goal was 40. They raised over $70,000. They paid for the $40,000 kindergarten project, and they split $10,000 each and made profit. Very exciting, sold-out event, honored Armenian. There were many dignitaries from the California Assembly, from the city of Los Angeles City Council, Paul Krikoyan. Very successful event. Our Yeprat Lodge in Fresno brought over 11 members last year and over 14 members this year. Gomidas Lodge in San Diego brought several members last year and several members this year. Detroit, he brought in, I was just there recently, he brought in 9 members in January, initiated first, second, and third degree in one night. So there's a lot of excitement. There's a lot of projects that we're involved in locally and in Armenia. With the, you heard of benefactor Dr. Nishan Tabibian committed giving $1 million to the Knights of Watertown for the scholarship projects in Armenia for science and technology majors. 2 years ago, he committed $200,000 each year for 5 years to $1 million. Today, we have about $416,000 with interest. $400,000 is already donated. In the next 3 years, there will be another $600,000, which will make it to the $1 million in an endowment fund, which if market is well, we can sponsor up to 20 full-year scholarships at Yerevan State University and Polytechnic University. A lot better than we were doing before, $250. So this will be over 20 to 25 students in full-year paid scholarship. Thank you. And I want to congratulate and I want to thank knights like Dr. Nishan Tabibian for stepping up and doing the right thing. And he mentioned that if this ESP, which we will talk about in a second, if the ESP is up and running, I'm willing, and I have friends that are willing to donate more for the new startups in Armenia, for the science and technology startups for businesses. So he's willing to increase his commitment. We also had Karikian, who passed away and donated over $300,000 on his will for the housing project in Armenia. And we received most of the funds, and they are also invested in an endowment fund with Morgan Stanley. And now we're able, before we were only able to support maybe one house through Fuller Armenia. Hopefully with market staying the way it is, we can support 2 to 3 homes in Armenia. And it will not be a burden on Avak Tivan, but it will come out of that endowment. So a lot of excitement, a lot of exciting things are happening. There's a lot of motivation, and we're encouraging and motivating donors to donate towards any cause that they believe in. It doesn't have to be Armenia, it can be local. And many lodges are doing both. Gomidas Lodge, just recently in San Diego, we built a St. Sarkis Armenian church. newest Armenian church in United States. Copy of Ripsime if you've been to Echmiadzin. It's a beautiful church. If you are ever in San Diego, please give me a call. I will give you a personal tour. Knights of Vartan Gomidas Lodge raised over $25,000 to pay for paintings on the right side of the altar. Again, when the Knights needed to step in to help the church, we were there. Then we supported summer camp scholarships for the students in San Diego that couldn't pay for it to go to the summer camp in Fresno area. So here's a local. And there are many, many other stories. And I know Ararat Lodge in Boston does that. Is very known, well known for participation locally and in our homeland. During the 44-day war, I know how much money was raised. I was sent to Armenia, and I appreciate you, and I want to thank you for your dedication. So the Knights and the daughters are alive. We do have challenges ahead of us. But we're going to continuously fight, and we're going to continuously work hard to meet those challenges and to grow our organization. We need to, most important, we need to attract young professionals. We need to bring them in groups. We can't bring one 28-year-old or one 26-year-old. We need to bring them in groups so they have a place of belonging. They have a clique, and we need to give them a task immediately. We need to adopt a project as a lodge, locally, and in Armenia. If you don't have one, Avak is ready and is willing to give you multiple projects where you can pick and choose. And it's important for Otyag and lodges to have this, to have the special events, special evenings, special speakers. If you don't have an interesting event, no one will come. No one will participate because I'm 44 years old. Yes, my heart is in it, but not many 44-year-olds or 25-year-olds or 35-year-olds have that. I know many come and they don't stick around. They leave because there's not much to do for them. So if you bring them in groups of at least 4 or 5, appoint, delegate, I think they will do well. I was talking to Avak Nancy, and she agrees with me that we need to give tools to the Otyags and to the lodges to do that. Again, 2 years ago, we thought Tri-Lodge in Los Angeles was dead, literally. But today is one of the vibrant 3 lodges in our brotherhood. So when there is a way, when there is a will, there's a way. Sorry. I'm very tired. I arrived at 1 o'clock in the morning last night, and then at Avak Tivan meeting until 3. So these are some of the highlights of what's happening around the country. We are establishing our Knights of Vartan Charities, Inc. branch in Armenia. Sbarabed Stepan, Nelson Stepanian, please stand. Thank you. He's on the board. He's on the board of the Knights of Vartan Charities, Inc., chaired by Avak Sbarabed Steve Adams, Avak Sbarabed Steve Karajian. So Knights of Vartan Charities, Inc., now in about a few weeks will be officially registered as an official branch in the Republic of Armenia. We will have a bank account in Armenia. For the first time, we will be officially registered in Armenia. And this will give us an opportunity to fund all of our projects in Armenia directly through our Morgan Stanley account to our account in Armenia. And anything that we do that we used to do through Paros Foundation, FAR, or other organizations, now we can do it directly with the Knights of Vartan, through Knights of Vartan. And the Charities Board works tirelessly to put those bylaws together to make sure we have the right structure in Armenia. So when we're increasing our funding in Armenia to millions of dollars, we are protected. and there is a transparency, and there is a good system in place. So after the communications office was opened in 2016 in Armenia, we hired Gohar Baljian. Next thing we saw that there is a need of us having a branch in Armenia and a bank account. So that's the next. So there's many other things I could mention. But tonight I want to concentrate on one of the main projects that my Avak Tivan is trying to concentrate is economic sustainability project. Levon Toros will tell you a little bit more about it. Recent events in Artsakh have led to the dire humanitarian crisis. Over 120,000 of our brothers and sisters have been forcefully deported from the homeland due to the ethnic cleansing and grave injustice that tears our fabric of our community and heritage. The severity of this displacement cannot be overstated, and the need of our involvement is more urgent than ever. The Knights of Watertown has always stood as a beacon of hope and support for Armenia and its people. In keeping with our long-standing mission to aid our homeland, it is imperative that we rally together now to assist those affected with these tragic events. Our efforts can help them get back on their feet and begin challenging process of rebuilding their lives. Imagine losing everything you have. Imagine giving 3 days to leave, and you have to leave your home, your business, and your place of birth, where your grandparents are buried, and you have to leave. And there's no hope going back. And all you have is a suitcase and your children and no money, because for 9 months you were under a blockade. Now you end up in Republic of Armenia, no place to go and no place to work. Remember that. The Knights of Watertown has always stood by our people, especially during hard times. In January, me and my Avak Tivan launched the Economic Sustainability Project, which is one of, as I mentioned, Avak Tivan's main projects. This isn't just about giving money, it's about offering new start and keeping them safe in our homeland. Helping those refugees is crucial. It's not just about doing good, it's about doing what's right. Those grants help them build their own businesses, make them self-sufficient, and strengthening their communities. Our role goes beyond just helping. It sends a message to the world that we stand for human rights and support those who have been forced from their homes. The Knights of Watertown is leading in a vital effort, and now is the most important time for us to step up. I urge everyone here to contribute by supporting this project, and not just helping individuals. We're rebuilding our nation again. Let's show that we can rise together and heal the wounds of the conflict. We need to show the refugees of Artsakh that they're not alone. We need to make sure that they remain in Republic of Armenia. We need to make sure that 96% of them that are living in border villages as of right now, starting from Tavush all the way to Sunik to Nakhichevan Ararat borders, they remain there. This is a long-term project, and this keeps them in place and self-sustaining themselves. This model was used in Israel, and many small businesses that were supported by the Jewish communities in the United States, those businesses are multi-million-dollar corporations. Because, as I mentioned earlier, if we have donors like Nishan Tabibian that can donate towards a small startup, those startups can become high-tech companies tomorrow. But even a baker or a barber or a mechanic, they shouldn't beg. They shouldn't wait for $200-300 from the United States to come as humanitarian aid. They should have an opportunity to support their families and to support their children and to hire more people and to do good for the country. It is our duty as daughters and knights to step up and help our homeland. Thank you very much. And at this time, I would like to invite my Avak there, Sbarabed Levon Toros, to give a quick PowerPoint presentation with a little more details on the ESP. But if any of you have questions, I can answer at this point. Or any comments? No questions. Okay.
Good evening again, and I welcome you all. Pari Egak, Yev Hazar Pari, Armenian way. I'd like to thank their Antranig, not only congratulate him. Years ago, my son was a student at the St. Stephen's Armenian School, and for several years, I was simply observing their Antranig, the spirit he had, not only as a good clergy, but as an Armenian, a real patriot. I saluted that spirit, their Antranig, because I felt it came from home. I was born and raised in Lebanon to Armenian parents who survived the genocide. And for me, being Armenian in the diaspora, in a city, in here, where I had no one, no relatives, no friends, I was supposed to discover life in here on my own, it meant a lot. So thank you, dear Antranig. I know you're not only a good man and a good clergy, you are a good patriot as well, at heart. And thank you for being able to pass it, to show it to the others, to translate it, and to make others feel, sense that. Thank you. The other observation or the other comment I would like to do is thank you all, sisters and brethren, for being with us today. We specifically thank you and thank your service. Avak Sbarabed and also Nachkin Sbarabeds, Nachkin Avak Sbarabeds, and all of you, brethren. And there is one thing I would like to say. We're all talking about projects and programs, and we are contributing in a way or the other, either via our organizations with which we are affiliated or individually. Many of us do that, but do not like to speak about it because we were raised as good Christians. My grandmother would say in Armenian, meaning charity is done in silence. It is not something to be announced. So that's how we do it. And I know that many of us in here do it individually as well. But I see at a level, what we are trying to do is not really translating into what we want it to be. And I realize that we are doing charity, we are donating, we are participating simply because we are Christians or we were raised to be good Christians. But what about being a good Armenian? What about the content? What about the spirit that led the genocide surviving grandparents start these communities all around the world and pass that spirit to us, pass it through our mothers? We have Armenian families. If the Armenian family is standing on its feet in the diaspora, it's because of the women, the mothers in there. And only those who are lucky or who were lucky to have a mother so knowledgeable and so stubborn not to get swiped with the trends of life, only those families are the sustaining one, the remaining one. I suggest that we focus not only on programs to help our uprooted compatriots back at home from Artsakh and all over the other places that we lost during not only the 44 days war, but there was the 4 days war before and several episodes before it, but also to look for tools to see ways to help our churches and the few numbered schools in the country to see how we can fortify that Armenian spirit in our generations, the new generations. Our generation may feel it, some of us may not feel it so much, but what about our children? All this in a few decades will not be, having ears for those who are potential helpers if we do not fortify that spirit. Let's all of us in our lodges, in our Otyag, look for ways on how we can fortify that spirit in our people. And thank you for being with us. It was a very pleasant evening. We hope to see you soon again. Good night. Pariegak.
So, in closing out completely, don't forget about Fresno, July 11th through 13th. Make your reservations as early as possible. Thank you.